Hi everyone, welcome back. Um, so I wanted to start a reading about something that has kind of intrigued me for quite a while. It's called the Voynich Manuscript, and currently it's in the Rare Books Library at the Yale University Library. Um, for those of you who don't know, the Voynich Manuscript is a 240-page manuscript combining different images of like botanical herbs, other plants, astronomical themes, as well as anatomical themes. So the kicker, though, is that the language and the script in the manuscript has like completely stumped researchers. So there's no translation of it, no common language. And it's fascinating because I'll share my screen and get a little bit of the manuscript. I'll show you some of the really cool images of this. So for those of you who like cool images, I think it's just a beautiful manuscript, and I love how the colors are so vibrant. But as you can tell, like if you look at um the lettering and the script in this, it's very unusual. So I think that it's incredibly fascinating that you can see images like this. Um, and some of the botanical imagery in here is very like unreal in the way that it doesn't exist. Um, so I'm gonna try and find some images of every kind of theme that I mentioned. So the botanical aspect, the astronomical aspect, as well as the anatomical aspects of that. And then I think what I'm going to do after is um, do a reading and question tarot about the manuscript and its origins and just what it means. Um, so here's another really cool kind of image. And I think at one point Sir Francis Bacon actually owned the manuscript. Um, here's a cool kind of depiction. I am by no means an expert in uh, medieval codices or manuscripts, but I do think that this is really interesting. So it's just something that I've wondered about for like quite a while. And for those of you who want to actually um, look up this work, this manuscript, you can go onto the Yale University Library website and type in Voynich, that's Voynich manuscript, and it'll just come up as cipher manuscript um, in the catalog. But I thought this is such a cool kind of diagram and depiction of like different kind of astronomical events and um, see like this anatomical woman in a bath of some sort. But also this looks like Pisces, the two fish. And what I'm thinking is that the language here, I'll try to go back to a different image in a bit, but I suppose that the language or the script in here should be read upside down and backwards in a way, but that's just me. And so I just think this is such a fascinating kind of manuscript. I think that there are a lot of cool, ouch, my cat's right behind me. Maybe she'll decide to make a, yep, here she is. Um, anyway, so I just think that, this is really kind of a cool manuscript, and I love that it's so shrouded in mystery. So, um, yeah, it's just like that looks inappropriate for YouTube, but let's find something else. Um, yeah, anyway, so I figured, I'd ask a couple questions about the manuscript, um, and just kind of see where the questions lead. So I'm going to read on the the purpose of the manuscript, and I have different questions for each of the different categories that I'm going to do. So the purpose of the manuscript, and then the second set of questions will be what is the origin of the text and the authorship as well. And the last set will be about the manuscript's future and what we'll eventually know. So I'm shuffling my deck to just get into the groove of reading on this manuscript that has just stumped scholars for so long, and we'll see what happens. So the first set of questions is about its purpose, and the first question in that set is, what is the nature of the manuscript's illustrations? What is the nature of the illustrations in the book, the manuscript? What's the nature of illustrations? Hmm. Um, okay, so we have the Knight of Wands. Um, and I think with the Knight of Wands, this is really kind of about kindling a passion for history, um, for for making sure that people stay focused on what's important and ask the right questions. And I think that it's just about like charging ahead and really like focusing on what this manuscript means, because for some reason, to me, I'm getting the sense that it has a lot to do with current events. So I really think that that's interesting. And of all the knights in the deck, the Knight of Swords, or Knight of Wands, excuse me, is the only one riding a stag and not a horse. So, right off the bat, this is a manuscript that is just totally different. So I kind of appreciate that. I love that it's so different. And so the next question, um, is Is this a work of medicine, alchemy, or another discipline entirely? Is this a work of medicine, alchemy, or another discipline entirely? Hmm. We have the magician. So I'm thinking alchemy. Um, Kind of like the creation and destruction of things and manifesting what you want. That is fascinating. Or or it could just be about like all of the above. Um, so I think making things real, being a creator and a destroyer. Um, so sorry if I seem a little distracted. My cat is in the room with me, and I think she will, yeah, she's also a creator and a destroyer. Anyway, so if you have any other kinds of things that you'd like to add on about me getting the magician card for the question of is this a work of medicine, alchemy, or another discipline entirely, then I think that you should let me know because this is just a really interesting kind of read already. So the next question in this first set is, what is the meaning behind its strange and symbolic imagery? What is the meaning behind its strange and symbolic imagery? A lot of Empress energy in this manuscript. Um, so very earthy energy, very grounding energy that I'm getting. A lot of feminine energy. And I mean, as you could see in the illustrations of what I showed before, there were some images of a woman in a bathtub, um, in a strange bathtub. It looked almost alien. So, a lot of like really grounding, nurturing, motherly, earth-loving energy with the Empress. So, my next set of questions is about the origin and the authorship of the manuscript. And so I have a couple of questions prepared. What the first is, what is the origin of the language slash script of the manuscript? What is the origin of the language or script? We have a lot of major arcana cards here. So we have judgment. I think this is kind of like a lost language, uh, that or like a language that is not of this earth. Um, I'm almost thinking that whoever created this was in an altered state, like an altered conscious kind of state when they made it. So really kind of, right, it's about bringing in new ideas, right, with this angel and the trumpet. So I think like just kind of bringing in new ideas to further enlighten us as a whole. And so the the next question is who is the author or authors or creators even? Who is the author or authors or creators? The devil. Um, I don't know why my screen just did a thumbs up when I did that, but my Zoom made a thumbs up when I brought up the devil. So, um, I really don't know what to make of that. Um, I mean, I suppose the language is not of this world if the devil created it. And I suppose it could be maybe it was like an evil person or like a person who wasn't or okay, thank you. Um, so whoever made this manuscript was in an altered state of consciousness when they created it. And I think the devil, in some way, shape, or form, is involved with the authorship of this manuscript. I would like to pull a clarifying card because um, I'm a little concerned that, it's maybe someone who just wanted to mess with us about this, but I don't know. I think like I really have no idea. So a clarifying card is the Five of Swords. Um, Maybe it has to do with kind of like a new world order, or like something having to do with like revelations, um, like the Book of Revelations from the Bible. That is fascinating. Because there's definitely something like this Five of Swords. We still don't really know. Like there's a battle that's been like won, but there have been losses along the way, and I don't know what those losses are. Maybe a loss of whatever language this is, but or a loss of knowledge of who the creator is, so we may not even know. Maybe the devil could be posing as a potential author of this manuscript, but it's not really true because we have the Empress energy with the meaning behind the symbolic imagery, right? So very grounding, earthy energy. But we also have the devil about the author or creators of this manuscript. So maybe it could be like a false kind of deity or being that's posing as the true author. I'm gonna pull one more clarifier card for this question because I guess I was not expecting that to have the devil come up as the author. So um pardon me. Um so as another clarifier, we have the Queen of Wands. Um so I think maybe um having to do with like a fiery passion for something. I'm really, really uncertain about how to read this, everyone. Um, Let me know what you think because I'm just as stumped as the scholars, and I am not a scholar by any means necessary about manuscripts or codices. Um, yeah. So I guess the next question is the manuscript authentic? We have the tower. So many major arcana cards. Here's the tower, right? It was something that had to be created because if it wasn't, then something terrible was going to happen. Um, so I think, okay, it's making more sense like with the previous card with the devil as the author or creator because maybe oh, and the Empress too, like and like, just judgment, like the person not being in their right mind when they made it. Maybe they were having some sort of psychosis when they created it and they thought they were possessed by the devil, and then the devil convinced them somehow that if they don't do it, then their world is going to end. Um, okay, that makes sense now. Um, so all right, so I guess what I'm getting is that it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good with the tower because it just, I mean, the world hasn't ended yet, has it? Maybe we're in a black hole already. Um, so yes, I think the manuscript is authentic um, and not fabricated. I think that whoever created it is or was convinced that they had to create it in some way. Like the devil in this instance maybe commissioned this person, like this person had some sort of paranoid psychosis of, the mind. Okay. Um, so the next question, I'm not sure about asking it because I'm not sure how manuscripts are created, but I guess we'll ask, how was the manuscript created and by what process? So I guess that's really two questions. So how was the manuscript created? And then what process was by what process was the manuscript created? So how was the manuscript created? It was a life or death kind of situation. We have the Knight of Swords. Um, so this person hardly like I know swords, the suit of swords is all about like thought and like internalizing things, but I also think that um whoever created it, like they had no time to think. They had to actually like they had to take action and do it. Um, so what by what process was the manuscript created? By what process was the manuscript created? The Knight of Pentacles. This was a dark process. Um, like dark horse. If you look closely, the knight's face, it looks like he doesn't even want to be there on the horse, and the horse is like, I'm out of here too. So I think this person was rushed into making the decision to make this manuscript, and I think that the person who made it really was tricked in some way by this devil character over here, um, and was fooled. Um, and I'm thinking if I get another knight, the Knight of Cups, then that'll be the Four Horsemen. So, um, and we have the tower at the end of the world, right? So, um, anyway, um, so with the Knight of Pentacles, this person really like had to create things from scratch with the materials that were used. So earthly things. It could have been like animal hide, it could have been parchment, with like different colors to mix, like dyes and whatnot. But I think once they realized after their altered state of consciousness that they were not all in it, they did not want anything to do with it. Um, Wait a minute, one, two. I missed a question. What is the origin of, oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. Um, the next set of questions is on the manuscript's future and revelations. Um, so the first question is, will the true meaning ever be understood? Will the true meaning of the manuscript ever be understood? Um, so I like to I just got this list of questions online, and I don't tend to like yes or no questions with tarot. I tend to prefer more open-ended, but I think this is a definite yes, because we have the Ace of Cups. And I think, we have the dove up here holding the olive branch and the water. The cup is full. So I think once we create this sort of sense of belonging and understanding with one another and acceptance of one another, then it will be understood. Um, the next question is, what is the key to unlocking its secrets? What is the key to unlocking the manuscript's secrets? Hmm. We have the chariot. Determination. Did you notice how with the man I covered his breasts too? Yeah, because if we can't see female breasts, we can't see male breasts um on YouTube. Anyway, with I guess determination and willpower and just kind of a willingness to learn from it and our past as well, and like how books of alchemy or astrology or astronomy have been depicted in the past, as well as other types of um, medicine. And, I think um, in this card, I think it's very similar to the imagery of, I believe it's Apollo, the god Apollo. Um, I think he was the goddess Diana's twin brother, and he was, I think, the god of war, but it's just very reminiscent of like this sort of masculine determination of finding information and really kind of delving into our consciousness and unconscious as well, and really kind of expanding our horizons. So when it comes to academia, I find that, and I mean, I have my master's, so I found this across the board in academia, where there is not a lot of interdiscipline interdisciplinarity between disciplines. So I have my master's in social work, for example, and uh, I wanted to do something with human rights. So unfortunately, I had to face barriers with the school about what I wanted to do for my internship. So I wanted to focus on something with human rights, which is more based in the school of law and not social work. And philosophy did not cover anything in social work, even though social work has, it kind of picks and chooses and borrows philosophy from different areas of philosophy, from epistemology to metaphysics, logic, stoicism, anything, everything. So, even economic philosophy, like Adam Smith. So, yeah, I think that there needs to be more interdisciplinarity between the people who are studying this manuscript. Um, because I find that if you don't reach out to other disciplines, then you don't get insights from other people who are nonlinear thinkers. So I consider myself a nonlinear thinker. I tend to make connections where other people have like none. There's like an empty shelf there, and I see connections everywhere. Like I'm picking and like seeing things where they don't wouldn't normally be. Anyway, I digress. So The key to unlocking its secrets is being interdisciplinary, sourcing scholars from different disciplines and areas of study, because I mean, you can bring in physicists, you can bring in, uh, history or historians. I mean, you could bring in scientists from all over. Like, anyway, yeah, that's my little soapbox elegy. Um, and so the next question I'm going to ask is, what role did it play in history, and what is its ultimate legacy? So again, that'll be two questions. What role did it play in history, or what role is it playing? What role does it serve? I feel like that's kind of like what is its purpose, but what role did it serve in history? What role did it play in history? Hmm. The Nine of Wands. So I think in a way it really kind of, yeah, it's like a barrier. It's creating this kind of wall to understanding um the greater sort of universe and sort of different historical alchemical processes. It's really kind of holding something back. Um, it hasn't been unlocked yet. But with the chariot and determination and interdisciplinary research, I think that it can be. But throughout history, it's really been difficult to decipher. Um, so they don't really know what it plays, what role it played in history. Just that it's incredibly rare and is an unknown language. What is its ultimate legacy? That's the second part of this question. What is its ultimate legacy? You have the world. Um, it's kind of like the missing link in manuscripts. Um, what I'm getting is that it, like, if once we understand it fully, then we'll be able to really understand each other and ourselves more. It's kind of like I said, it's alien, right? Like, I mean, not extraterrestrial, but it's alien in the way that it is unusual. Um, so its ultimate legacy is to really just kind of bring things to their pinnacle, because we're at the penultimate stage of consciousness, right? So we're almost there. Um, but yeah, the world card is really like about coming to the end of a big cycle, like really finishing off strong. Um, the last question I have is, what is the next step to its full understanding? What is the next step to its full understanding? Death. I don't think this means physical death. I think that it means a transformation of consciousness. Um, kind of becoming one with the universe. And I did I did a reading on ego death a couple weeks ago, and I think that really like letting go, really letting go and oh, I'm cracking up. The universe makes me laugh. Um so yeah, spiritual death maybe. Um for like a heightened sense of spirituality. So you have to kind of give up what like your earthly plane, right? And then like create something new. Um, so I think with the manuscript, this instance, it's really just like, oh, okay. It's kind of like forgetting about what we already know. Like forget everything we already know. Just kind of come at it from a new perspective. Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, so coming at something from a new perspective, really kind of shifting how we see things, and maybe like what I've been saying, interdisciplinary action, like within disciplines, like finding and exchanging information between disciplines. So I think that that's super important with understanding this manuscript. And so um I wanted to show you a couple more images from the manuscript. Um, just to get like, hold on, an idea. Um, just to see the manuscript. Um, so here I'll go all the way. Here we go. So I just think it's like fascinating. Like it just almost looks like over here where my mouse is hovering, you can see kind of like lighter paint or um pigment on the paper or whatever the manuscript is made of. It's probably sheepskin or something. Um but you can see this lighter kind of uh you know ink splotch. So I'm wondering, I'm gonna look it up to see if it's a palimpsest. Um, it's not a palimpsest. Okay. It's just that the pigment on the page is a little lighter than the rest. Um, and maybe that I think that's intentional. But some of these plants, like that looks like a 90. Um, and yeah, so oh, this is really it's beautiful images. Like, and there's a tarot and oracle deck from Kickstarter that was based on the Voynich Oracle or Voynich manuscript. It's called the Voynich Tarot and Oracle deck, but I don't think that they're available. I kind of missed it. So, um, oh, that's unique. A lot of the words look really interesting. Like this word right here looks like the word atlas and offering atlas, but I don't know. It's just some of them, the lettering just is so intricate. Um, let's see. There's more writing and stars in the outline. Ouch. Um, but yeah, I'm really nerding out about this because I think it's the coolest thing that someone can create this and not necessarily have any idea, like, the implications it could have later on in history. Um, this looks like a tree of some sort. And I'm wondering if maybe there's like a picture of the alchemical child, but I don't think so. I would have to go through it more. But see, there are 213 pages, but maybe it's 213 and not 240. But 213 of these sort of PDF format pages. And yeah, I love the colors. I love that it's just so unique. Um, and the whole reason why I'm doing this reading is because I am listening to the audiobook Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And um, if any of you have read it, it's about this woman, Diana, who discovers a palimpsest, which is a manuscript that has been like the colors and writing from it have been like washed out, and then it was used for like something else, like a different type of manuscript. So there's like um you can see like faint outlines of things underneath. Um this is so beautiful. Um anyway. Um yeah, so that is my reading, and let me know what you think because uh yeah, I'm a little curious about that. But let me know, and I'll do a reading for tomorrow, so the 20th. But anyway, have a good night, everyone. Bye.